According to investigators, a deputy was dispatched to conduct a welfare check on a man who was walking on the median on the highway.
A deputy in Otero County responding to a welfare check on 17-year-old Elijah Hadley. The deputy can be heard trying to ask Hadley what he's doing on Highway 70.
Stop right there, bro. Stop.
As Hadley approaches the deputy, he is asked to show his hands. At this moment, the 17-year-old throwing to the side what looks to be a gun, later found to be an airsoft pistol. But the deputy shooting Hadley 4 times. Hadley collapses to the ground.
And another citizen killed. This time it's a 17-year-old young man, a boy, a teenager, killed by a deputy that was supposed to be doing a welfare check. And it's just so funny how these welfare checks always end up with the citizen being shot, killed, tasered, arrested, or who knows. In this case, a 17-year-old young man is walking down the side of the road and it's dark and he is carrying a BB gun. For the naysayers, because we know you guys are out there, we're going to look at this video and we're going to ask a few questions and you guys tell me if it makes sense to you or not. Or does this look more like murder versus a justified shooting by a deputy? Let's watch this video.
Video shows moments before and after a 17-year-old with an airsoft gun was shot and killed by an Otero County Sheriff's deputy. Julian Pottis breaks down the video, which may be difficult to see.
On June 25th, after 11 p.m., a deputy in Otero County responding to a welfare check on 17-year-old Elijah Hadley. The deputy can be heard trying to ask Hadley what he's doing on Highway 70.
Stop right there, bro. Stop.
As Hadley approaches the deputy, he is asked to show his hands. At this moment, the 17-year-old throwing to the side what looks to be a gun.
So when a deputy or a police officer, they arrive and the first thing they want you to do is show them your hands. This is not a welfare check. Okay, you're already being treated as a suspect, a criminal, and whatever investigation that doesn't even exist. You're being treated like a criminal. Now, I want you guys to pay close attention to the freeze frames in this video. Now, there's a couple things. One of two things had to happen here. The deputy had to have gotten out of his vehicle with his gun already halfway drawn or completely drawn out of his holster while asking the young man to show him his hands, or he had to have pulled his gun out and shot this kid after seeing him throw the gun on the ground. Now, what I think is more of the first one. Okay, he got out of the vehicle, his gun was already drawn, and here in a second, I'll show you why I say that. Let's keep watching.
They're found to be an airsoft pistol.
Remember, this is a welfare check. This deputy received a call that a young man was walking down a dark road. There was no mention of any gun. So therefore, this deputy does not know that this kid has a gun. So why do I say that? Look at the position that this his hand is still stretched out. Now, if you look at the smoke in the top left corner where the arrow is pointing to, that's smoke from a gun being fired. Before the gun could even hit the ground, before this kid could even bring his hand back towards his body, he was already being shot, which tells me that happened so fast. No deputy on this planet can pull his holster out of his gun, aim, and fire that fast. His gun was already out even before he knew this kid had a gun with him. And what does that tell us? Even if this was a real gun, and we're about to find out it wasn't a real gun, it was a BB gun. And who knows, maybe this kid, since he's walking down a dark road, was scared and needed it for protection, a coyote or whatever. But even if it was a real gun, and typically the police pull up, they say, freeze, put your hands up, let me see your hands, drop the weapon. Keyword, drop the weapon. Even if that was stated, this kid was dropping the weapon, which turned out not to be a real weapon. Well, at least a real gun. He was dropping it. He was dropping the weapon and he was still shot. But if you thought him being shot the first time was the end of it, it wasn't. Let's keep watching.
but the deputy shooting Hadley 4 times. Hadley collapses to the ground.
42 Basin, shots fired, shots fired.
The unnamed deputy informing OC/SO he's unharmed.
Mason, send me help. I'm not hit, subject down.
As the deputy waits for backup, he can be heard telling Hadley not to move. At this point, the 17-year-old has been on the ground for more than 3 minutes until shots are fired again.
Don't go to that gun!
After the first 4 shots were fired, you can hear the kid on the ground saying, "It's a BB gun." He's screaming to the deputy, "It's a BB gun. It's not a real gun." Now, okay, I understand. As a police officer, as a sheriff deputy, you're not just going to take the word of someone carrying a gun that is not a real gun, because there's a 50% chance he's telling the truth. There's a 50% chance that he's not. And do you want to gamble your life on that 50% chance? No, you don't. I get it. But there's also a 50% chance that he's telling the truth. Okay. So with that being said, my point is this is the job. It calls for critical thinking. I have shot this guy 4 times. He's down on the ground. He's saying it's a BB gun. I've seen him throw the gun away. I can approach, still being cautious. Secure the weapon. Secure the weapon. Now I don't have to worry about what's about to come up next. And that's me firing another 15 shots at a guy who I've already fired 4 shots, making a total of 19 shots at a child who's laying on the ground with a gun that he advised me was a BB gun, not a real gun, and a gun that he immediately threw to the ground once you asked him to show you his hands. Okay. Now, for the naysayers, again, please don't try to judge the thinking of a 17-year-old saying, well, he should have told the cop he was carrying a gun, whether it was real or not, and gave the cop some type of, I guess, notice. Well, if we can judge a 17-year-old like that, how much more should we judge a grown man who's a police officer, who has the life and death situations in his hand, who is in charge of enforcing laws, who should be a critical thinker, who should know laws and who should know our rights, and who should know that nothing was going wrong, who should have better judgment, and who could clearly see that this child was throwing a gun to the ground. Real gun or a BB gun. It was going to the ground. You shot him 4 times. 15 more shots was unnecessary. And those second shot, group of shots, all you can see in that clip was stay away, him saying, "Don't you go for that gun," and then he starts to shoot again. I can't see the kid moving. And his arm is in front of the body cam. Now, if you're asking me, none of this makes sense. And then you hear him breathing at the end. And I know I'm a little long-winded here, but bear with me. You could hear him breathing at the end as if he's scared. Let me tell you, that's all a show. They know that body camera is going to be reviewed by several people. And so that's just a show to make it seem like, hey, I regret I had to do this. I was scared or whatever. It's all a show. It's not real. He was not in fear of his life whatsoever. And I'm not sure that that kid, this 17-year-old on the ground, moved at all. We can't see him move. The camera's been blocked. And if you ask me, I just have a hunch that you said that because you know the body cam would pick it up and that would justify you shooting an additional 15 times. Let's keep watching.
Hadley then shot more than 15 times as he lies on the ground injured. 5 minutes pass and the deputy can be heard breathing heavily, still waiting for deputies to arrive. Otero County deputies arrived by 11:23 p.m. to offer aid. The deputy checking Hadley's body for a pulse.
I got no pulse anywhere.
New Mexico State Police is investigating the incident, which is also being shared with the district attorney. For the time being, they also say the identity of the Otero County deputy will not be shared as they investigate the shooting. For KOAT Action 7 News, I'm Julian Pottas reporting.
And we have reached out to the Otero County Sheriff's Office for comment, but have not yet heard back. The deputy has been placed on administrative leave until the investigation is wrapped up.
So we have the Sonia Massey shooting. We have another shooting in the state of Illinois of a 4-year-old child. We have this shooting by another deputy. And it's not that this is new and you guys already know this. It's more cameras are being developed by the day. more auditors are being born by the day. More people are just beginning to take this into their own hands and beginning to film police. And we're beginning to request the body cam footages. So it's not new. It's just really starting to come to the forefront even more. And this last 2 weeks, wow, on this channel, I feel like everything that we've covered is, of course, rights violations, but they've all been life and death situations. All of them. Even the one we covered about the police chief who held a woman at gunpoint, threatening to shoot her over an expired tag, or the woman being held at gunpoint because the cop believes she stole her own car. These women could have easily been this young man in this video. This is the danger, right? This is the danger of American policing. The policing in America, it's getting worse by the day. And so when we're telling you guys, always film the police, always know your rights and film the police, it's not, yeah, cliche, yeah, we hear it every day, but it's important because even if something does happen, the video needs to be created. It needs to exist so we can try our best to hold these guys accountable. And as you guys see, this is not an easy process, but you still must do so. Always record the police. With that being said, We the People University, signing off. If you're one of the viewers who reached out saying that you're not getting any of the We the People University notifications, I have a solution. By texting WTPU to 844-764-2158, I can personally notify you whenever we publish videos. Text WTPU to 844-764-2158 and you will receive a text message notification with the link every time we publish a video.